There was another state, which started with the caste survey thing, and how we should go about it. Then Nitish Kumar did again a flip flop.
Well,
And look at the figures.
Bihar.
If you look at the figure, it is not a complete wipeout, but a good entry by RJD and Congress combined. Because it is 17 seats for BJP, so this means BJP wins all of its seats. But out of 16 seats, the JDU has lost 8 to 9 seats.
And Chirag.
Chirag has lost 1 seat. Yeah,
No,
Chirag
not
was
that.
contesting on 5.
Now he is contesting as the other faction. Because if you remember during the assembly, it was his uncle who was with the NDA. But this time, if he gets these 4 seats, then he has proved a point that on my own, I can do it, whether with the NDA or not.
No, I agree with you. And in fact, if you look at the fact that, look at the numbers, out of 39 seats, this is 29 NDA, 8 India Alliance and 3 others. It'll be interesting to see who these others are.
Correct.
Who are these independent? Correct. Is it Pawan Singh from Buxar, who is fighting a very big battle? So I'll ask the studio to Karakat. Yeah, so we'll ask the studio to check, which are these seats which these independents are winning for us. I have Suleiman with me. Yeah, please, you were saying.
Look at that number, 17 for the BJP in Bihar. It is in a sense repeating what it did in the previous 2019 elections. It's the same.
Correct.
Holding on to all the 17 seats.
It's again the ally which has gone
So
down.
it is absolutely, it's
Again
like BJP, yes, allies, no kind of a situation which is working out for them. I've also joined by Sunita. And Sunita, if I may get you, how do you look at these numbers? Do they surprise you? Or you were thinking that all along that, India Alliance will be able to make a decent inroad into, the BJP settle? Because last time they won 39 out of 40 seats. This time, they are just 28, 29. And, 8 is won by RJD, Congress combined, and 3 others. Sunita?
Before I comment from Bihar, I would like to talk about Maharashtra, which you were discussing.
Please.
In fact, I was in Maharashtra and I was talking to some leaders there, and especially from the BJP. And they knew that this NCP and they are going to lose Shinde Group because they don't have any organization. They said, we have to help them because they have nothing except that, of course, they have positions, but they have nothing. So you see that. When I look at Bihar, I think BJP may have a relook at its policy to have such allies because they're not gaining so much from making friends suddenly on the eve of elections. They could have done better if they had got more seats both in Maharashtra as well as here.
You are echoing sentiment which is dominant in this newsroom. Suleiman, if I may get you on this, it seems like that, that the BJP was taking pot shot and how, seen it, how there's a reversal of stand, taking pot shot at the Congress party and the India Alliance that, it's a gathering of motley group getting together. They're not going to do well. They are doing well. It is the allies of the NDA which is pulling down the BJP.
You can have I'll again say that the undercurrent on the ground, the anger of the people on the ground, we have seen rallies in Bihar. Our people have told us that the India Alliance, RJD and Congress Party and other smaller groups which are supporting us, to our understanding, will perform far better what your analysis is right now on the street. So let's wait for 4th of June. We are going to perform far better.
Okay.
Smile a bit more, Suleiman. I mean, these are the states that are getting a number.
The question again goes back, yes, this is an exit poll. Let's reiterate that. It's an exit poll. It's not the final number, but it is the largest ever exit poll. More than 1 crore people being surveyed. The number says 17 for the BJP. For the RJD Congress combined, it's 8 seats. What is your estimation? What is your own internal analysis?
What is your estimate?
How much are you expecting from Bihar?
No, I have not. You have done a survey of 1 crore people. You have a better understanding of
Fair enough,
this.
but we still are curious. We are curious to know. If you're saying that we're going to, there's an undercurrent of anger, what is your own estimation of what will the RJD Congress combine get come the 4th of June from Bihar?
Internally, we are going to get, I think, close to double what you are showing.
Double of what we are saying.
That's 16 seats. That's 16 that you're talking about. 16 seats for the RJD Congress combined in Bihar.
More than that also, it may be.
How I say, I think it's a high voltage current, not undercurrent. if you're going to win 16 out of this and this thing. But Ajit, interestingly, as we start analyzing state after state, the dominant theme is this, that, BJP is led down by its allies. You know, why is BJP then going the ally way? Why aren't they fighting elections on their own? Because if you look at the last time, you know, when the flip-flop was made, a majority of, you know, regional leaders of the BJP, they were extremely unhappy. And they were saying that this high time BJP shed its baggage and fight the entire 40 seats out of its own.
I think what happened, Brijesh, is when BJP saw this India alliance coming up for the first time in the history of India, India alliance has come up for the first time. BJP thought that they are going to be challenged seriously compared to the last two elections. You know, they must have thought 10 years of anti-incumbency, India alliance combining with 28 parties initially, if you remember, later 26. Of course, much later, Nitish Kumar came on the other side. So they thought, let's play up the fact that we also have an alliance. So if you remember, BJP had 38 allies at one time. Pictures were being shown with BJP and all the 38 allies. In fact, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi filed his nomination from Varanasi, he had called almost all the allies to Varanasi. So they were displaying that, you know,
the counter show of strength.
Ha, aapka alliance, mera alliance.
alliance.
You see? And they didn't realize that they by themselves would have swept this country if they didn't have these
alone.
allies.
Absolutely.
If I may add, Brijesh, one more thing is that I'm sure the BJP wanted to ensure that people, the voters, you know, quote unquote, don't get swung by the numbers. You know, like, you know, you have one party versus everybody else, and everybody choosing, you know, I will vote this party, but then everybody votes into different parties. That is all part of one alliance. So to ensure the fact that there is no one set of, you know, parties that is taking the numbers away inadvertently without the voter realizing that they're not voting for the BJP, I'm sure the BJP sort of wanted to have some rear guard action, if I may, and that's probably the reason why they still went to the allies.
Could be. I'm also joined by Dr. Anil Verma. Dr. Verma, you know, you see the result of Bihar. Does it surprise you? Or you think that the results are on the expected lines?
No, Brijesh, I think it is very much on the expected lines, given the fact that Tejasvi has become, you know, a very popular figure in Bihar in this election. Yeah. And he has been able to, you know, influence a lot of people over there. How that will work in the assembly elections, that is anybody's guess. But certainly we expected that this will have some traction in the parliamentary elections also. So I'm not very much surprised, and that's why the tie-up with Nitish was so very essential. Had this Nitish and the BJP tie not been there, things would have been really bad for the BJP. So I think they visualized this thing and went for tie-up with Nitish Kumar. So it doesn't surprise me at all.
I want to ask you one more question, because, you know, this is the dominant narrative which is emerging state after state, especially the two states which has led BJP down, you know, the state of Maharashtra and Bihar. And the dominant narrative which is emerging is that if BJP would have gone solo, then BJP would have won much more seats than the BJP is winning along with its allies. What do you have to say on that, Dr. Verma?
No, I beg to disagree, Karthikeya, on this. And because you see, sometimes the perceptual things in the public domain are so very important that they play a very dominant role in the determination of your voting behavior. So these are hypothetical questions, of course, what would have happened like this and what would have happened like that. But the number game is so very important that is, I do not know whether electorally it translates so much for the benefit of yourself, but or the party, dominant party. But in the public domain, that gives you a psychological strength that so many parties are with you. And especially Tamil Nadu was a very interesting experiment with BJP doing alliance with 9 marginal parties, or in Uttar Pradesh, BJP doing alliance with so many other marginal parties in Eastern Uttar Pradesh and RLD in the Western Uttar Pradesh. So that these small alliances, you know, they might not be so very important electorally, but they are very important so far as the political psychology of the voter is concerned.
Okay. But Mr. Verma, before we move forward, what I really need to understand is this return of LJP. Is it correct on my part to say that this BJP, JDU, HAM and LJP, they are organic votes?
LJP, see, one thing you have to understand, Karthikeya. If you look at pre-assembly, post-assembly situation, you know, it was emerging very clear that the LJP, which was the original LJP being granted to the uncle, and the nephew was left out in cold by the BJP itself. you know, when it came to forming an alliance before the assembly, before
now
the
the clock is
election,
turned.
they all realized that it is Chirag Paswan who is drawing the crowd, and that is the reason why, you know, they immediately and unceremoniously dumped the uncle and went for the bhatija.
Basically, Chirag got the mantle of
Or
Ramvilas Paswan.
Ramvilas
Which
Paswan. It is
usually
very
happens
clear by
with
the
the
number of
And he's
seats.
a
which is-
charismatic leader.
He's
also
a young boy. He's very popular, and I
Very
think he's able
popular.
to retain all the Paswan strongholds or LJP stronghold seats.
Okay, Dr. Verma,
I think, Karthike, the one leader I think is a bright spot in Bihar is certainly this gentleman, Paswan, Ramvilas Paswan's son. Because whenever you see him speaking, I find a very good politician in him, whether it be the expression of language or whether it be the expression of ideas or whether it be the expression of even respect for others, you know. This kind of a politician we visualize in Indian politics, and such a variety is very rare. So I think whatever the electoral coalition has brought to the BJP, out of 5, if he wins, if your trend shows winning 4, that doesn't surprise me at all, because he is a very special type of politician in Bihar, and he is the future, hope of Bihar. Probably.
I'm also joined by Rishabh Tiwari, spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party. Sunita Oren continues to be with me. Sunita, this figure tells us that the sort of effort which Tejaswi has put, the dividends are not as high as people expected it to be.
Exactly. But you know, still it's better than 2019.
Oh, it's
There was
much,
a
much
big-
better than 2019.
RJD has 0.
11 seats. 8
So,
plus
you know,
3.
डूबते हुए को तिनके का सहारा.
bilkul. When they're counting every seat in every state, you know, right now Mr. Verma was talking about the allies. I can understand when you have allies like JDU, they wanted to have because of the Kurmi votes. Otherwise, if you have allies the way they have done it in UP, then there is a reason that, okay, you need Rajpai, you need Nishad, you need Bhumiyars. So you find some leaders who represent them and have an understanding, and it helps. Like perhaps they have done it for Balia seat 4 days before the polling. But getting people like Shinde and those allies I'm talking about, that doesn't make any, it doesn't help them. But having said so, in Maharashtra, the other thing that people were talking about was that they wanted a Maratha leader because they were faced with Sharad Pawar. So they got two not that strong a Maratha leader, and they wanted to cover more regions in Maharashtra and not remain confined to few. So definitely in Bihar, they had no other option but to go with JDU. So they did it. They did not gain so much. RJD now, you know, they'll take off from here. Congress will take off from here if they can, and let's see how now the opposition has found some space.
Okay, Rishabh Tiwari also joins me, a spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party. Rishabh, I think this data must have made you feel very happy that finally भूला बिसरा घर आ गया वापस, उसके साथ 2 लोग जुड़े और numbers are pretty good looking up in Bihar.